Lars Stormwalker and his dragon Onyx have defended Stormwalker Castle for the last 20 years. The Stormwalker family was powerful, though not royalty. Many of the royal houses sought to wed the children of the lordship to solidify the house as an ally and not a rival. The king, on the other hand, was always worried about the power of the house and how much it had gained. The mineral wealth generated from the mountainous kingdom unsettled the crown. Jealous of the wealth, the king sought to impose a new tax on the lands of the Stormwalkers. They refused to pay the new tax, citing its unfairness since it wasn't imposed uniformly across the lands. The Stormwalkers' refusal to pay the tax provoked the king to send the armies of the kingdom to crush the proud family. Lars and Onyx were veterans of 3 major conflicts. He fought alongside a lot of the men that would now try and destroy his family. He would not enjoy killing them, but he must. Lars stood in front of the castle with Onyx to his right. He patted the dragon on the black scales on top of its long neck. He told the loyal animal that he needed his help one more time. Onyx told him that he had the dragon's allegiance in the conflict. Dragons were not dogs or other animals that could be told or trained to go to war. Dragons were as smart as humans, and thus they needed to be treated as such. Onyx served willingly and not by bondage. In the distance, Lars heard the growing noise of an approaching army. It was time. His massive 2-handed sword named Moonraper was made from the sky stone and rippled with mana. The familiar armor of the Stormwalkers covered his body with thick mana steel. The ancient talisman of the Red River manifested itself as a long, red cape that flowed unnaturally in the wind, possessed by the old wizard Kalor. Lars jumped on the mount on top of his dragon and raised his sword to the sky. Arrows flew from the castle, aimed at the enemy archers, wizards, and slingmen at the rear. After 10 volleys, Lars and Onyx took to the sky, followed by 20 other dragon riders of the Stormwalkers. From the east to the west, horse cavalry soldiers rode in large numbers to the enemy army in the valley. The gates of the castle opened up with row after phalanx soldiers marching towards the enemies. The dragons would fly to the rear and harass or kill the leadership. The cavalry would ride to the flanks of the enemy in a pincher movement, and the phalanx would slam into the rank and file. As the sun set on the day, forces of House Stormwalker won another battle. Lars stood on the battlefield the least excited he had ever been after victory. He watched as the dragons ate the fallen horses of the enemy. The king's soldiers lay stripped and naked on the dirt and grass. The steel and iron from the slain would be used for arrowheads, armor, shields, and swords to be used against the kingdom. It was time for the Stormwalker house to take the throne of Gallant. The king had forced the hand of the house, hoping that they would not be ready for war, but the opposite was true. The Stormwalkers had been waiting for the king to strike out of jealousy and rage. If the king was a humble man, the Stormwalkers would never be able to defy the king with such support, but the king's latest actions provoked some of the more affluent houses to pause, for they could be next. They would join the Stormwalkers in the coming war. Lars knew this would be the last time he slept in the castle for a long time. The drums and horns of war played the devilish music that provoked men to pursue power, and his dragon riders would be called upon to dance to the song.